to the Most High Yah by way of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's go ahead and get John chapter 5, verse 39. Okay, Leah, sit down. You know, we're going to hit a few things. I'm going to try to be brief. Go sit down, Tizzy. And it says, search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. You know, I had a brother call me yesterday. As a matter of fact, the individual who I was telling y'all about, dude I was telling y'all about, that was talking about that new moon Shabbat, he ended up being on the phone with me saying a lot of stupid things. We might deal with that a little bit. But I want you to come around here to about 2 Samuel chapter 12, about verse 17. You know, I was just talking to Pale about this, and that's what it brought it back to my memory about this particular chapter. Make it about verse 11. 2 Samuel 12, about verse 11. You know, sometimes you could have somebody in this way and you could be praying that Yah will have mercy on them. But just because Yah doesn't have mercy on them don't mean that you should act a fool or be angry at him. I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. You can get you Job chapter 2. I want to say about verse 7, but 5 come to mind, but we'll see what it says when we get around now. 2 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 11. Say, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house, and will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor. He shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son. For thou didst secretly, but I will do this thing before all Yasharal and before the sun. David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yahuwah. And Nathan said unto David, Yahuwah also hath put away thy sin, thou shalt not die. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of Yahuwah to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. Nathan departed unto his house, and Yahuwah strake the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick. So the baby's sick now, sick unto death. David therefore besought Alahym for the child, and David fasted and went in and lay all night upon the earth. So if he fasting, what he doing? He afflicted his soul that his voice could be heard on high, right? So this baby wouldn't die, right? That's what he doing, right? Now I'm going to sit back, I'm going to show you what he did. Now, because he ain't doing nothing wrong. In a time of suffering or affliction, you ought to seek the Most High. That's what you ought to do. It says, and the elders of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not. Neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on the 7th day that the child died. And the servants of David feared to tell him that the child was dead. For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead? But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel and came into the house of Yahuwah and worshipped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat. Then said his servants unto him, what thing is this that thou hast done? Thou did fast and weep for the child while it was alive, but when the child was dead, thou did rise and eat bread? He said, while the child was yet alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, who can tell whether Alahym will be gracious to me that the child may live? But now he is dead, wherefore should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, and he shall not return to me. Now what do y'all take from what you see David just told these people after these sad events that just happened? What y'all take from it? What you take from his outlook and the mentality that he possessed when it came to this matter? I want everybody to answer at one time.
What's in the pot?
What y'all take from this, gentleman? Somebody help me out now. Well, I'll just put it to you like this then. since nobody want to help me out. When we turn around and we look at, he see his child had passed. You see the thing that he said, I fasted and wept and I prayed because who would be able to tell if the Most High would have mercy on me to spare his life? But he said, now that he has passed, there's nothing that I can do to bring him back. I got to get up and I got to carry on. You know what I'm saying? The point of being is, there's nothing wrong for mourning after somebody passed, but the point of looking at that is to sit back and show you. Remember, this is a man after y'all's own heart, right? So after a period of time, you got to sit back and look at it. I pick myself up and go, because when he say I go to them, but he shall not come to me, meaning I can go visit their grave, but what's the point of that? Because he can't return to me. But we already know what our book say, what our law say. It says, get Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 19. If you wasn't sure, just so you know, because ain't none of y'all got no business doing no grave visiting, going to no cemetery. I don't even want to go to the cemetery to bury your body. Y'all forbid if any of y'all was to die and I had to officiate your services, I'm not going to the cemetery. You know how they preach over your body in the spot, then they go to the cemetery and do it again. I ain't going to the cemetery. 8 and 18. I'm just telling y'all that right now. I ain't going to the cemetery. I ain't stepping foot out there. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like cemetery before the word. I don't like them now. He said, behold, I, the children whom Yahuwah have given me, are for signs and for wonders in Yasharal, from Yahuwah of hosts, which dwell in Mount Zion. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto the Alahym for the living to the dead? Now I want you to come over here and I want you to look at Matthew chapter. We'll get to Job chapter 2 in a minute. Matthew chapter 22 and about verse 29. And what I had in my head. It'll come to me in a minute. Luke chapter 24 and about verse 1. Matthew 22 about verse 29. Matthew chapter 22 about verse 29. Yahushua answered and said unto them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Alahym. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but as the Malachim of Alahym in Shamayim. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by Alahym, saying, I am Alahym of Abraham, the Alahym of Isaac, the Alahym of Jacob. Alahym is not the Alahym of the dead, but of the living. Hello? What's up, Mr. When the multitude heard this, they were astonished at his doctrine. Why do you think the multitude, gentlemen, would be astonished that he said, Yah is not the power of the dead, but the power of the living? Why would you think they would be astonished by that? Any of y'all got any idea why they would be astonished by that? Well, come over here to Luke chapter 24, about verse 1. Maybe we'll be able to look and see why they would be astonished by that. Any of y'all got any idea why it's important that he say he's the Alahym of the living and not the dead? See, the whole objective, right? Because I know some of y'all a little sad right now, and I understand. So I'm not going to hold that against y'all this evening. You know what I'm saying? No. The whole objective of what you're trying to acquire is eternal life. The desire that you're trying to seek is for the Ruach HaKodesh to dwell in you. Now I'm going to sit back and I'm going to show you how he is the Alahym of the living and not the dead. Because obviously when he spoke those words, was not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob dead? Were they not dead? You know what I'm saying? I just had a conversation with a brother along these lines to try to help him understand something. So maybe we can help y'all understand this yourself. Excuse me. He said, now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came unto the sepulchre bringing spices which they had prepared and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulchre. And they entered in and found not the body of the master Yahushua. Did not Hamashiach die, right? He was dead, right? Let's see what he telling them. It came to pass as they were much perplexed thereabout, behold, two men stood by them in shining garments. And as they were afraid and bowed down their faces to the earth, they said unto them, Why seek ye the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spake unto you when he was yet in Galilee, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and the third day rise again. Why would this be important, gentlemen? Y'all got any idea why this would be important? Well, come over here and get your Romans chapter 8 about verse 1. And then get your Genesis chapter 3 and about verse 19. Because they just asked him a question. Hold on, somebody called me. It's nobody important. These people just be calling and be hanging up. Then when I answer, they don't say nothing. I think it's the feds. Niggas seeking me out. I think it's the student loan people. Where her money at? I ain't never get it. So you ain't never getting it. I ain't paying you for no money I ain't never spend. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get to buy no sneakers with it, no weed with it, no cocaine, no nothing. That was the whole purpose of the student loan, was to buy some cocaine, be honest. I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm for real, man. I think it's a bill collector. I don't know who it is. It's a 334 number. I don't know who it is. 904, they be harassing me. Well, you ain't no problem. I was finna take that $2,600 student loan, put it with some money already on. I called myself. I said, well, I'm gonna increase my credit real fast. I'm gonna get this student loan, bam, off their work, pay these people their money back real fast. We like to say this man is amazing. Have grade A credit with the dope man and the government. Didn't work out that way though.
No, you gotta have credit for like at least 6 months or something.
They wouldn't care because they got, huh?
For it to show when your credit pay.
It was going on, hey man.
That's what they say. Like you gotta pay it steady for like a good 6 months, and then if you pay it off, then it'll show reflect good on your credit.
All I know was I was gonna get him, flip him, pay him back. Straight up, real fast. I was gonna pay him back for the interest hit. If I didn't, really, it didn't matter if it was. That was just free $2,600. Flip about 3-4 times.
Understand.
Pull up. You know what I'm saying? Along with some other stuff where I'd have been pulling up like this here, stick my arm out the window, Rolex.
Looking like theirs, huh?
Shining. Hey, well, I'm nice watching.
One of those.
And Romans 8:1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yahushua HaMashiach, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For the law of the Ruach of life and Yahushua HaMashiach have made me free from the law of sin and death. For what the law could not do, and that it was weak through the flesh, Alahym sending his own son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. So let's come over here to Genesis 3 and 19. Because we try to ascertain how he hit the Alahym of the living and not the dead. I seen a young lady that we coming over here, Genesis 3 and 17. She talking about her daughter, talking about she want to meet Adam and Eve because she mad with them because of them we died. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, you know, this is a child though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I know it, but all I'm thinking about is how ignorant the preachers are that the people hear from, because if they had a proper teaching, they would know that Adam was going to die anyway. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing but a matter of time.
Well, I was more mad because we had to wear clothes.
This guy.
I was like, we're all butt naked right now.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know you were naked.
I'll still be naked though.
But you wouldn't know it.
But I'll still be young, wild, and free.
But
hanging and swinging.
I know T told me something about that. She was in the grocery store and heard a little girl asking her daddy certain questions that he couldn't answer. And he was like, you know, and shoot, he said even the preacher can't answer. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of Hebrews get upset with us when we tell you Adam wasn't made to live forever. All you got to do is sit back and look what he was made from. He was made from dirt. You know what I'm saying? That's common sense. That's flesh. So that's why you see that those that are of the flesh mind the things of the flesh. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't of the spirit. He wasn't made of the spirit. So therefore, why would he have minded the things of the spirit, since he was not of that? He was flesh. You understand what I'm telling you? 3 and 17. Genesis. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shall thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat of the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it thou wast taken, for dust thou art, and dust thou shalt return. So because there's condemnation to those that live in the flesh, you just seen it. You know what I'm saying? Now you no longer dead. You're going to have to be free from this, because we know the soul that sinneth, it shall die. Everybody going to partake in that first death. It's unmistakable. Ecclesiastes 9:1. We'll get to this Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob thing. Get your Hebrews chapter 11 and about verse 33. Actually, just go ahead to verse 37 with that. Yellow. What's going on, man? What that was I just said?
Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, 9. Let me go back sometime. Ecclesiastes 9:1. Listen what he tell you. Ecclesiastes 9:1. He say, for all this I considered in my heart, even declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of Alahym. No man know either love or hatred by all that is before them. That's what y'all have to sit back and look at. The righteous, the wise, and everything they do, get hold what you got and get your Revelation 14 and 13. Everything that the righteous and the wise do, that's in the Most High's hand. And after we look at that, get your John chapter 10 and about verse 25. Go right along with that. Get the Revelation 14 and 13. Still going to get the Hebrews 11 and about 37. But this Revelation 14 and 13 come to my mind. But make it verse 12. This is what y'all got to have when we're dealing with this thing, is some manner of patience. Here is the patience of the Kadeshim. Here are they that keep the commandments of Alahym and the faith of Yahusha. And I heard a voice from Shamahim saying unto me, write, a Baruch are the dead which died of Mashiach from henceforth. Yea, saith the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. Why? Because the labors of the wise and the righteous, they in the hands of Yah. Come over here to John 10 and 25. Let's back it up. So that means even though they, matter of fact, and get your Revelation chapter 6 after this John 10 and 25 to go along with that. You got to sit back and look at what we're looking at is after the indwelling of the Ruach HaKodesh, that means life is in you. That even though you are dead, yet you live. Because you would go from being dust to being eternal. It's all type of stuff coming to my head. Bear with me. Bear with me. John 10 and 25. Yahusha answered them, I told you and you believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. But you believe not, because you are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish. You see how he said they'll never perish? They'll never perish. That means they don't transfer from being dead to being alive. See, that's what we sit back and look at, like according to what the Apostle Paul said in Ephesians chapter 2, that we were dead in trespasses and sins, but he have quickened us together in high places in Yahushua HaMashiach. By grace you are saved. Because see, we were dead in these things. While he said, while we were yet sinners, Mashiach died for us. While we was yet dead, he died for us. So that we could no longer be dead, but be alive. Because your God is alive. He is the living Alahym. He is the living power of Shamahim and Arats, of heaven and earth. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah of hosts is his name. Yahushua HaMashiach is his son, his anointed one and king of the kingdom of Yasharal. You know what I'm saying? Is that not true? So when we turn around and we look at that and we analyze that, if your God is alive and his son is alive, then it would be quite apparent that his servants would have to be alive, even though they were dead. See, hold on, y'all just bear with me, because a lot of stuff coming to my head. We're going to swing right on over here after I read the next verse. He said, I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. I and my Father are one. Did he not just tell you that the works of the righteous and the wise are in the hands of Yah? Ain't that what he just said? It's amazing that we will see Hamashiach make this statement. Because he was letting you know that he was Alahym in himself, and this saying that y'all are in my hand. I and my Father are one. That's why those who learn of the Father, they come unto me. Because the works of the righteous and the wise are in my hand, in my Father's hand. Therefore, they in my hand. Therefore, even though you dead, you have never perished. Get this Revelation 6 before we come back over here to John chapter 11. Do y'all follow what I'm talking about? We're just trying to give you a little sit back to looking at on. You got to keep on pushing and save your soul. Now, while we're alive, we got a chance. We got a chance. Once we leave here, our chance is over. You know what I'm saying? There's a song, man, Revelation 69. There was a song, man, what it was? It's on Wyclef album. It's called Sean Physique on this Carnival album. He's singing in Creole. You know what I'm talking about? But Lauryn Hill sings the hook, and then sings on the record. And in the record, she was like, you know, there's a pathway that you got to choose, and you can't choose one when you die. You know what I'm saying? You know, in Alahym Psalms 119, I think it's about verse 33. You know, he said, order my steps according to thy word. Because you want your steps to be in line with this man's word. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of y'all stray outside the steps that the man have ordained instead of following this man and taking up your affliction because you want to seek after your own will and kind of try to make your will and y'all's will one and the same. Now, some of y'all know that there was a situation that we just had to deal with the other day. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing, or two things out of that situation before we proceed. One, be wise in everything that you do. Remember what Amashah say, to be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. You know what I'm saying? Sit back and look and analyze situations before you move. Because something that you might say or do that really had no intent could end up being made to fashion to look at you a particular way that you may not want it. See, I learned that lesson, not something because I experienced it directly, so to speak, but from watching what the media do to black athletes and entertainers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? How they take stuff that they may say and do and then take it and twist it for whatever means that they trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that happen. People do you like that. And then you end up trying to fight to clarify what's going on, and in the midst of doing that, it could end up making you look even worse. And you ain't even, and in actuality, you ain't actually done nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just might have made a tactical error, or you are just asking or speaking a certain thing, not thinking nothing of it. Second thing being is this: people gonna talk about you, man. Period. No matter what you do. If you're doing something good, they gonna talk about you. If you're doing something bad, they gonna talk about you. But at least if they talking about you, that means you got to be doing something. You know what I'm saying? Because you know one thing I know, Jim Daddy, you know one thing I know. Nigga don't talk about you, you ain't doing nothing. You can believe that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about you, you ain't doing nothing. Y'all ain't never seen nobody talk about, boy, that nigga, that boy, he like this here, he this, he that. He say, well, what he been doing? Shoot, just staying to the house, just chilling. Ain't nobody, I'm talking about, ain't gotta just be somebody saying nothing negative about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, period. People don't talk about nobody if you ain't doing nothing. Other than to say that nigga ain't doing nothing. Revelation 69. And when he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Alahym, and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Yahuwah Kadosh and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season unto their fellow servants, and also in their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So you see back, even though they were dead, they lived though, didn't they? That's what the white robes about, right? He said the fine linen is what? The righteousness of the saints. The righteousness of the saints is the covering of the Ruach HaKodesh, which is received by faith in Yahushua HaMashiach, which is a byproduct of clean, sanctified living. You know what I'm saying? That's what sealed them. That's why even though they're dead, they yet live. And that's what you got to, this is how he's the Alahym of the living and not the dead. You just sit back and look at it. Y'all ain't the power over no sinner. You know what I'm saying? He definitely ain't the God of a sinner. He say, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't dwell in no evil space. And obviously, if you sit back and look at Romans 8 and 6, since I said this, before we come back to John 11, we still going to look at this Hebrews 11 and 37. It'll probably be about verse 38. Romans 8 and 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. To have the Ruach in your mind, to have the mind of a Mashiach, well, that's life and shalom. If you don't have that, then obviously Yahuwah could not be your God. He said, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He that commits sin is of the devil. For this purpose the son of Alahym was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. He that is born of Alahym do not commit sin. His seed remain in him. He cannot sin because he's born of Alahym. Right? And this, the children of Alahym and the children of the devil are manifest. So when we turn around and look at it, if we walk in the flesh, then we are dead. There's no way that Yah could be our power. He is not the power of the dead, but of the living. Those that live, believe, and obey. That makes sense for y'all. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Alahym, for it is not subject to the law of Alahym. Neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Alahym. And if you cannot please Alahym, then he cannot be your power. That would be impossible. John 11. Then we'll get back to this Ecclesiastes chapter 9. 11 and 31. Okay then. The Yahudim which were with her in the house and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out and followed her, saying, she goeth unto the grave to weep there. Now I was just talking to Pierre about this, and I told him that obviously because it's a good thing that one of us is there near him with Brother Sean. You know what I'm saying? But I told him, and if some of y'all don't got his number, you want to call him, let me know. We go on ahead to get it to you. Because you see how the people came there to comfort her because her brother was dead. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You need that comfort sometimes. But some situations, man, I'm tell y'all something, man, it ain't good to try to go it alone. You know what I'm saying? It make it worse. Some of y'all might think doing stuff alone is better, but I'm trying to tell you, it's worse. When you riding dolo, you open to a lot of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? I also know when people be riding dolo, your mind go to wandering. You go to be thinking about all type of retarded, crazy stuff that ain't even going on. You know what I'm saying? But especially if you really dealing with something really hard. Boy, I learned that through experience. Boy, it ain't good to go it alone, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got friends, that's what they're there for. That's why, man, he say he's so self-friendly, have friends. Some of y'all don't show yourself friendly. That's why don't nobody really be there for you, because you not friendly. You know what I'm saying? So you can't expect people to be friendly to you when you're not friendly to them. So people don't really know how to approach you or come to you to help you because you might be cold and distant. You know what I'm saying? See, when you open to people, friendly to people, and people like this here, boy, they gonna come see about you. They gonna come check on you because they gonna be worried about you because they know that's a friend. See, a lot of people don't sit back and they look at, a nigga might only pop up when they want something, need something from you. You know what I'm saying? If you going through something, they don't really want to hear what you talking about because they ain't really concerned with what you got going on. They don't really concern with themselves. But when they got something going on, they want you to hear what they talking about, no. They want you to be able to move like this here, but yet you don't reciprocate that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by loyalty right there, by being a friend. Some of y'all got to learn how to be a friend. You know what I'm saying? Some of you got to learn how to be a friend and how to be a friend. Be a friend to somebody and to open yourself up to be friendly to people. That don't mean being friendly to somebody don't mean you let people walk over you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be accessible. All right, now listen. Say verse 33, when Yahushua therefore saw her weeping, and the Yahudim also weeping which came with her, he groaned in the Ruach and was troubled. And he said, where have you laid him? They said unto him, Master, come and see. Yahushua wept. Then said the Yahudim, behold how he loved him. And just like this here, man, you know, everybody grieve different too. But ain't nothing wrong with crying, male or female. That's why these niggas be talking about men don't cry. Boy, Mashiach cried. You better not dare tell no grown man it ain't allowable for him to cry. If your king and savior cried, that don't make you weak because you shed a tear now. Y'all follow me on that? That don't make you weak because you shed no tear. Now I'm talking to the men though. That don't make you weak because you shed no tear. Ain't no shame in that. Then said the Yahudim, behold how he loved him. And some of them said, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahusha therefore again groaning in himself come to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Yahusha said, take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Master, by this time he stink, for he had been dead 4 days. Yahusha said unto her, said I not unto thee that if thou wilt believe, thou shalt see the esteem of Alahym? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahusha lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hear me always. But because the people which stand by said it, that they might believe that thou hast sent me. When he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound in foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahusha saith unto him, loose him, and let him go. Now we know from Yuchanan, John 6 and 63, he said, the words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and life, which he said to be spiritually minded. You see that even though this man was dead, he lived, didn't he? So let's look at 1 Thessalonians 4 and about verse 13, and let's see why. Even though he was dead, he lived, though. That's the only thing we're going to look at. And I ain't read some of the spots there yet, man. Y'all we'll get there in a moment. We will get there in a moment, but there's still hope left for us, right? Because we still here, right? You know what I'm saying? We love Brother Goldie, love Sister Tamara, but their hope is over with. You know what I'm saying? Because they passed on. They returned back to the dust from whence they came. But it's still hope for us. You know what I'm saying? Now, all I can tell you is don't lose your hope. And definitely don't get upset because somebody passed and be mad at y'all about it. That's why I called for that Job chapter 2. We're going to get around there in a minute. Don't get mad at y'all because somebody died. Because y'all already know what the curse say. Dust you are and dust you going to return. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you can do about that. The curse of the law is death. But the gift of eternal life is in Yahusha HaMashiach. That's the law. You going to die. Ain't nothing you can do about that. You don't get to pick and choose when you die. You sit back and look at it. That's another example of what I'm sitting here telling you, that just because you in the word don't mean you can't die. Because you seen Lazarus. If he rose Lazarus from the dead, you know it said he loved him, right? It said he loved Lazarus, right? Now why would a Mashiach love Lazarus? Now I need one of you gentlemen to answer that question for me. I'm not going to move past it till one of y'all answer it for me. Which one? Why do y'all, what would make Yahusha love Lazarus? What would make a Mashiach love Lazarus, gentlemen? Somebody help me out. We'll stay here all night. None of you brothers had any idea what would make a Mashiach love this man. None of y'all? Not one. He followed, he obeyed, he believed that he obeyed. That's why he loved him, right? So let's look at 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13. He said, but I would not have you be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. Why do others not have any hope? Well, let's look at Hebrews 11 and 1. Hold 1 Thessalonians 4 and 13. We're going to come back to John chapter 11, but a little lower in the chapter. Hebrews 11 and 1. He said, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Now we know he say faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the things not seen. He say by it the elders obtained a good report. Get Romans 8:22. Eight and 21. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious freedom of the children of Alahym. For we know that the whole creation groan and travail in pain until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope. The hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man see, why doth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then we do with patience wait for. See, we seek a redemption in the body, our vile body to be made like unto a glorious body. You can't see that. See, those who have no hope are those who have no God, because he said he is the Alahym of hope and the consolation. He told you that in the 15th chapter of Romans, if I'm not mistaken. The Alahym of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded. See, there's a comfort and a consolation when you know this here, because you know what you will receive from serving him. That there's a hope there. So when you look at other people, come back to 1 Thessalonians 4:13. A lot of people, they don't have no hope. When you don't have y'all, what hope do you actually possess? You possess any hope? You possess anything? I think not. 1 Thessalonians 4:13. Did you burn that stuff?
Smell like no.
Don't it though? He said, but I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. See, that go back to what the Apostle Shaul, the Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, that the sorrow of the world work death. Don't it say all the nations go? Didn't he say there'll be a weeping and gnashing of teeth? See, it's going to be sorrow for sinners. So I want y'all to sit back and look at it. Ain't no need to sit back and be sorrowful as other people here that don't got no hope. You know what I'm saying? If y'all sit back and see a Kodashim die, then they pray y'all have mercy on them and hope they got sealed with the Ruach and lived accordingly. You know if somebody ain't got sealed with it, and if they ain't get sealed with it, you just going to have to take that harsh reality then. Ain't no sense of making up no lies and telling no story for somebody just because that's what you want to do to comfort your own self with a sinful lifestyle you live in. You know what I'm saying? That's what got us all messed up in the game now, why y'all done went to all these funerals, these people telling these lies. Talking about, yeah, this nigga just got killed. Out here warring, selling dope, robbing. Boy, I know, boy, Ark up there in heaven. Boy, my brother up there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a heaven for a G. Boy, there ain't no heaven for nothing for this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I done seen stone cold killers, gangsters, dope boys. I'm talking about just deviants of all types. Niggas get killed. These niggas talking about this nigga in heaven. Well, we know full well ain't nobody went to heaven no way. You know what I'm talking about? Then on top of that there, if they did go, that nigga ain't getting in minutes. You know what I'm saying? Nigga got killed robbing a nigga, but y'all let him in. Yeah. You know, I never believed that anyway. But that's what they tell people, right? But you know what that end up doing? Reinforcing in your mind you can stay sinful. Because you gotta find a way to comfort yourself for your shortcomings and your flaws and your wickedness. So what's the best way to do it? Convince yourself that everybody getting in. He say, for if we believe that Yahusha died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahusha will Alahym bring with him. See, let y'all sit back and look at it. Abraham seen in the 15th chapter of Bereshit in Genesis, he seen a Mashiach rise from the dead. Did he not? Did he see him rise from the dead? Y'all don't even know that though. I ain't finna go read it though. You can pick it up about verse 16, see for yourself. He seen a Mashiach rise from the dead. Guess what? Jacob seen it too. When he seen the Malachim ascending and descending in the 28th chapter of Genesis. He seen him rise from the dead too. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sit back and look at it. Even though they didn't know of a Mashiach or hear testimony, I'm gonna show you something though. They got to hear it. They sat back and look at the things that y'all showed them, and they believe. That's why he the Alahym of the living and not the dead. That's why he said, I'm the Alahym of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I ain't the Alahym of the dead. I'm the Alahym of the living. These men are alive. Though they dead, yet they live. Same way we sit back when we talk about that man who touched the bones of the prophet Elisha. Though he was dead, yet he lived. That's what we sit back and look at. Even though we were dead, yet we live. We're going to be able to live when we live through him who died for us and rose again. Verse 15. For this we say unto you by the word of a Mashiach, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of a Mashiach shall not prevent them which are asleep. For Hamashiach himself shall descend from Shamayim with a shout. The same shout he gave to tell Lazarus come up out that grave. With the voice of the Ark Malachim, and with the trump of Alahym, and the dead and the Mashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet a Mashiach in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Mashiach. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. See, that's our hope right there. That's why you say the Alahym of consolation. That's your hope right there. But the only reason why that's going to be your hope because you believe and you obey. See, a lot of people don't believe and obey. That's why that ain't their hope. Come over here back to John 11. Y'all all right? Somebody let me know they're alive. I know y'all be quiet. Y'all extra quiet tonight, though, ain't we? We still on the Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Y'all all right, though? You know what I'm saying? I know people hard heavy, man. I know it, man. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves Sister Tampa who know it. It's all right. 11 and 20. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house. Then Martha said unto Yahushua, Master, if thou had been here, my brother had not died. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of Alahym, Alahym will give it to thee. Listen to what Mashiach said. Yahushua saith unto her, thy brother shall rise again. He had already known this man died righteous. That means if he was going to rise again, there wasn't no death in him. He just was sleeping for a little while. His works do follow him because the works of the righteous and the wise, they in the hand of Alahym. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall arise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believe in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. See that right there? For the living, there's hope. You know what I'm saying? For those that are left alive, there is faith. This is what he was sitting back telling them. Because Lazarus is dead. She just said, I know he'll rise again at the last day. He telling her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet will he live. Because there's still hope in you while you are alive to save your, deliver your soul. And whosoever live and believe in me shall never die. Believe thou this? Now. That's what you got to be after. That's what you got to be after. That's why he's the Alahym of the living and not the dead. So you got to be after that. Get this Job chapter 2 real fast before we work this Hebrews 11 and 37. Then I come around here to this 1 Peter chapter 4 and about verse 4. Because I ain't going to be much longer. If anything, we'll just keep on going another day. Y'all will on the Shabbat, man. I know it's hard, man. But we got to sit back and look at it. While the day is still today, harden not your hearts as in the provocation. Let your heart be hard through the deceitfulness of sin. While today is still today, you better hear his voice. 2 and about verse 4. Job 2 and 4. Satan answered Yahuwah and said, skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath will he give for his life. Put forth thy hand now and touch his bone and his flesh, and he will curse thee to thy face. Yahuwah said unto Satan, behold, he is in thy hand, but save his life. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahuwah and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot even to his crown. And he took up a potsherd to scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes. Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse Alahym and die. But he said unto her, Thou speakest one of the foolish women speak. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of Alahym, and shall we not receive evil? And all this did not Job sin with his lips. See, you're going to run across sometimes, man, you be dealing with people, right? And you can go up to Job chapter 1 about verse 18 too. Or verse about 17 while we here. You know, sometimes you'll be dealing with people, man, and you know what I'm saying? Because I know Kel already told me somebody pretty much done came at him, not exactly like that. That, you know, you might sit back and look at, you might be praying for your people. Might be going through something to happen, and it don't go the way you have. And that's the first thing people want you to do is go off on the Most High. What am I go off on the Most High for? That man said, if evil be done, have not I Yah done it? He said, I create light and darkness. I mean, he create life and death. He said, behold, I kill and make alive. You know what I'm saying? That's what the words say. So when this woman come at Job talking about curse the Most High and die, he said, you sound real stupid. I ain't finna do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna do nothing like that. He sit back and look at it. If I receive good at his hand, shall I not receive evil? Because all the time when they say evil, evil just ain't meaning what y'all think is evil. Evil just sometimes mean a troublous or calamitous situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, your wife dying, a friend dying, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that, for us that would be evil. Because it's a troublous, it's a calamitous situation. It's a hard situation. You know what I'm saying? But no matter if it be something positive or something be negative, if it comes from Yah, you can't lose your integrity and curse Yah with your mouth because you mad. You know what I'm saying? You sit back and look at it in the first place, I wouldn't care who it was. Your mama, your daddy, your wife, your children, they don't belong to you anyway. They not yours. I know y'all know what 1 Corinthians chapter 6 say. You are bought with a price. You are not your own. Your wife don't belong to you. Your children don't belong to you. Every living being on this earth, black, white, brown, yellow, behind, belong to Yah. Yahushua Mashiach purchased that with his blood. Your behind belongs to him. And if he see fit to take you out of here, who are you to complain and reply against the Most High? Why have you done this? That's why I read you that with David. David knew why his child was dying because he was dead wrong. But yet he said, who will know if Yah be merciful and gracious to us or not? So I beseech him because I know he's an Alahym of mercy and of goodness and forgive sin and transgression. That he's a healer. That he is capable and able, and there's not a single thing too hard for Yah. But if it don't be his will, I still will serve Yah. That ain't changing nothing. You know what I'm saying? What a lot of people is, you serve Yah under condition. Well, as long as you get what you want. When you don't get what you want, you don't want to serve him no more. That's how people roll. That's what the Christian church taught you. Serve Yah when it's convenient. When it ain't convenient for you no more, don't serve him no more. He ain't give you what you want. Hello? Hey, what's going on, brother Dust? Yes, sir. You sit back and you look at it like this here, right? When you had Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah about to be thrown in that fiery furnace, they told Nebuchadnezzar, we be careful to answer you in this matter. Our Alahym, if he able to save us, he'll save us. He said, but if not, I still ain't doing it. That's the mind you got to have. Whether y'all give me the request that I desire and save my life or save my loved one's life, it don't make no difference. I'm still serving y'all. That's where your heart supposed to be at. That's how your mind's supposed to be set up. 1 and 17 though. Make it 16. While he was Job, 1 and 16. While he was yet speaking, there came another, and said, the fire of Alahym is fallen from Shamaim, and have burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands, and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, and yea, slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am alone, escaped alone to tell thee. And while he was yet speaking, there came another, and said, thy sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead. and I only have escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down on the ground and worshipped, and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. Yahuwah give, and Yahuwah taketh away. Blessed be the name of Yahuwah. And all this Job sinned not, nor charged Alahym foolishly. That's what y'all sit back and look at. Don't be around here charging that to the Most High, because stuff ain't go your way. Some stuff happened by time and chance. You know what I'm saying? You just sit back and look at it. He gave it to you, he'll take it away from you. That's why I sit back and tell you, get out. You too. Sit down somewhere. Y'all sit back and look at it. That's why I tell you, boy, you love somebody, you better cherish the time that you got with them. Because you don't know how long you got with them. Go over here to James chapter 5, or chapter 4, since I said. You don't know how long you got with them. So cherish the time you got with them. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes y'all sit back and look at you be about 4 and about verse 13. Y'all sometimes you take people for granted because you just think they gonna be there. You just know they gonna be there. You know, I see them tomorrow, I talk to them tomorrow. Y'all be sitting back looking at, boy, people be trying to come see your face, hear your voice, and you be like, boy, I don't feel like seeing them today. I don't feel like talking to them today. Till you sit back and look at such and such dead. Now you ain't never got to worry about seeing them, and you ain't never got to worry about talking to them. You know what I'm saying? People don't sit back and think about stuff like that. Because we get caught up in the mundane and all this stuff here, man. You know what I'm saying? Boy, you just don't know, boy. You don't know when the last time you're going to see somebody. I done told y'all this before. Maybe the register in your brain, boy, somebody just died. Just now as we spoke. And I guarantee you, when they told whoever they last seen they loved them, or whatever the case may be, that person they told that to, they didn't think that was the last time they were going to see them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't think that was the last time they were going to see him. Y'all don't realize that, right? I ain't even talking about somebody who got an illness. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When we look at our brother Golden, our sister Tamara, they had a terminal illness. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even talking about something like that. I'm talking about something sudden. See, they downturn in their health was sudden, but they had an illness. And even in their illness, they held on to the word to the last minute, listening to the word till they was out of here. You know what I'm saying? But you got people that sat up, boy, they died today. They didn't know they were dying today. They didn't know they had an illness. They didn't know they were going to get hit by a car. They didn't know they were going to be in a car accident. They didn't know they were going to be shot. They didn't know they were going to have a stroke. They didn't know they were going to have a heart attack. Somebody died in their sleep. Wasn't nothing wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to sit back and look at that, man. You better sit back and look at it. Don't take people for granted because you don't know how long you got with them. Go to now, ye that say today or tomorrow we will go into such a city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain. Whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appear for a little time and then vanish away. You know, it's hard to sit back and hear because it makes you think about your own mortality, which is something that most people don't want to do. I can remember sitting back when I was young, man, as young as about 7, 8 years old, and think about dying. And it used to terrify me because of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Then when I got older, it didn't really bother me no more. You die, you die. Then when you get to dealing with the word, then they come in and sit back and look at, okay, I just can't die, you die. You know what I'm saying? Then if you sit back and you look at, you become spiritually minded, and the love of Hamashiach dwell in your heart by faith, then you'll sit back and know that there's hope for you, even in death. Come on back to Ecclesiastes chapter. No, well, Hebrews 11 and 37. Let's knock that out. And knock out 1 Peter 34 because we got to get out of this thing, man. Hebrews 11 and 39. Now we know in Hebrews it gives the report of faithful men from Enoch to Noah to Abraham to Isaac, Gideon, David, Samuel, Samson, Barak. You know what I'm saying? All these righteous and faithful men. And saying, these all, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. Alahym providing some better thing for us, that they without us should not be made perfect. These men didn't get the promise. So you know that the Most High had to come up with a way to correct that fact that they didn't get the promise. 1 Peter 4 and 4. Because in the living they will, because obviously they retained a good report by faith, and faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word of Alahym, and he was judged, and he said, Abraham believed y'all, and it was counted unto him for righteousness, and the righteousness of the law is eternal life. He said, we are those who live in the righteousness of the law, and they're able to attain life, what we read in Romans chapter 8. So because they believed y'all and walked in that, then they had the righteousness of the law, which means they should have had life with them. But the promise of the Ruach HaKodesh by the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach hadn't been brought forth yet. So then Most High had to come up with a remedy for that. 1 Peter 4 and 5. Well, 4 and 5. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? You know, quick is alive, right? For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to the men in the flesh, but live according to Alahym in the spirit. Because he is the Alahym of the living and not the dead. So because he went and preached the word to those spirits in prison, because he did that, guess what happens, right? Then Abraham will be alive, right? And Isaac would be alive, right? And Jacob would be alive, right? So then Mashiach wouldn't be no lie now, would it? Because he said, thy dead men shall live with my dead body. Because he tastes death for every man, he was able to give life to every man. Yeah. Praise Yahuwah for Yahushua for that. Yeah. Come on back over here to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. It's about 8:45. We gonna cut it short in a minute. There's other stuff I wanted to look at, but we'll look at it. Y'all will on the Shabbat. 9 and 1. We're starting to reread 9 and 1 again, and then slide back down. What we gonna look at? For all this I considered in my heart, even to declare all this, that the righteous and the wise and their works are in the hand of Alahym. No man know either love or hatred by all that is before them. All things come alike to all. There is one event to the righteous and to the wicked, to the good and to the clean, and to the unclean, to him that sacrifice, and to him that sacrifice not. As is the good, so is the sinner. And he that swear, as he that fear no. So you sit back and look at it, man. Good stuff happened to the righteous, good stuff happened to sinners. Bad stuff happened to the righteous, bad stuff happened to sinners. You got to know, you got to understand that. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun, that there is one event under all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil, and madness is in their heart while they live, and then after that they go to the dead. For to him that is joined to all living, there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished. Neither have they any more portion forever in anything that is done under the sun. Why do you think that he said, for him that is joined to all living there is hope? Why do you think he said, to him that is joined to all living there is hope? 2 words should come to your mind when you see this here with join. What would those words be? Hey, little buddy. What would those 2 words be when you see about those that are joined to the living? Hey, little buddy. Well, the first thing you should sit back is, get your Ephesians 4 and about verse 1. And let's look at the first one. Then get you 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and about verse 15. We already read where he said, he that believe in me and live by me shall never taste death. Believe thou this? 4 and 1 Ephesians. Hey, little buddy. You've been real fussy lately, man. What's going on with you? I therefore, the prisoner of Mashiach, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. That's what some of y'all need to learn, how to lower yourself down and be humble with each other and take injury from each other when people do you wrong, and forgiving and forgetting about this stuff in the same way that the Most High loved you. I think sometimes y'all forget how humble Hamashiach was, that he humbled himself and became a man, and even humbled himself even to death, even the death of the stake, even the death of the tree, because he loved you and the long suffering that he had with you. You don't sit back and look at all the times that people sinned against him in the wilderness and he wanted to kill him and he didn't do it. But y'all can't do that with each other. know what I'm saying? You sit back and you look at it and you'll talk about the love you have for Yah, but you won't show it. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Ruach in the bond of peace. There's one body and one Ruach, even as you are called, and one hope of your calling. Because see, there it is right there. If you join to the living, say he that's joined unto the living, there's hope. Because he said a living dog is better than a dead lion. You know what I'm saying? Come on and look at the other one. See, the two words we were looking at was Ikar, which is to be unified, which is to be joined to a Mashiach, and the other one is Levi, which means join. That's our whole objective, is to be joined to the living. We already read that in Luke 24. He said, why do you seek for the living amongst the dead, right? Because you ought to be joined to the living. Mashiach's not dead, he's risen, he's not here. In order to get life, you got to be joined to the giver of life, right? 1 Corinthians 6 and 14. Make it 13. Meats for the belly and belly for the meats. But Alahym shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for Hamashiach, and Hamashiach for the body. And Alahym both raised up Hamashiach and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them the members of a harlot? Alahym forbid. But know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two saith he shall be one flesh. He that is joined unto a Mashiach is one Ruach. Don't you think if you join to a Mashiach, you'll be living when he say, no man can pluck you out of my hand? He say, I and my Father are one. Didn't he pray for us to be made perfect in one? To dwell in him as he dwell in the Father? When we pray for that, we'll be joined to the living. And therefore we would be alive. Because he would quicken our mortal bodies with his. You know what I'm saying? That's what we after.
Give him.
That's what we after, brothers and sisters. That's what we after. I know this is a hard time. See, I know, I'm going to put it like this. I would tell Impale this here. Because there was a little difference between the two situations. When Goldie passed, that was harder on more of the men than the women, because more of the men spoke to him and dealt with him than some of y'all women did. It affected some of y'all, but it didn't affect you. Maybe it affected some of the men. Now it's on the flip side. Some of the men didn't talk or deal with Tamar like some of these women did. You know what I'm saying? Now it's the reverse. Now y'all don't have to sit back and look at it. It touched everybody as a whole, but now it's touching, now on the flip side, it's touching some of y'all more directly than it did the first time. Now you want to sit back and look at what's the direction you going with yourself. You know what I'm saying? What's the direction that you're going? Because I know Tamar passing affected some of y'all, some of you women, and I say by name, I ain't gonna call them no name. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in my mind. I know who. That's going to affect them a little bit more than it did when Goldie died. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some of y'all talk with Tamar on a regular basis, whether it was through electronic communication or direct communication. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to affect you. As you sitting back looking at, well, I lost somebody close to me, somebody I love, somebody I thought was going to be there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think she wasn't going to be here. You know what I'm saying? And sit back and look at you differently and show you the frailty of life, though. And you got to sit back and look at your life is fragile and it's precious. And we after a precious gift. And that's the life-giving gift of this man's spirit. For where his spirit rests, there is life. Where his spirit doesn't rest, there is death. Alahym is life. John chapter 5 about verse 25. And his son is life. That's what we after. We seeking to be joined to him. We seeking to be a part of his body. Get your 1 Corinthians chapter 12, go along with this. 5 and 25. Because he said he raised him up by his own power. He said, I have power to lay my life down, I have power to take it again. We know Mashiach was declared to be the son of Alahym by the resurrection of the dead in the Ruach HaKodesh. The only way that the Ruach HaKodesh is life. Remember, he said, the breath of the Almighty have given me life. Why did the breath of the Almighty give me life? Because I know that you will not suffer thy set apart one to see corruption. Because he had faith, because he had hope, even in the most dire situation. He knew because of his faith and obedience that he would rise again. The same confidence that Martha had about her brother. The same way that Mashiach could tell her that. Because he knoweth all things. Truly, truly, I say unto you, the hour is coming. This is John 5 and 25. The hour is now The hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of Alahym, and they that hear shall live. Because the words that I speak, they are spirit and they are life.
Lizzie, put it back.
For as the Father have life in himself, so hath he given the Son to have life in himself, and given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, and the which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, they that have done good unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. That's enough, Lizzie. When we look at the resurrection of life, it's because of the obedience of faith. That's where our minds need to be joined to. That's what our hearts need to be focused on. We'll go here to Romans 6 in about 20 and call it a night from now. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. What fruit had ye in those things whereof you are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin and become servants to Alahym, you have your fruit unto Kadesh, and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Alahym is eternal life through Yahushua HaMashiach our Master. Hallelujah for Yahushua and the Word. Y'all understood all this evening? Hello?